Hey guys, I'm Alistair from Trainer Kale. I'm back once again with a brand new On Running review, and today I am taking a look at the On Cloudmonster. So this is a really exciting shoe for me. I've just gone out on a run with it. It's a road shoe, and On has just pulled out all the stops on this shoe. It's called the On Cloudmonster for a reason, and that's because they have done something really special with the CloudTec pods on the midsole of this shoe. So they've extended how tall the pods are to give them extra kind of squish and compression and comfort whilst you're running. So you really don't feel any rocks or anything like that that you might run over whilst running on the roads. It's quite an insane feeling, and it really reminds me of what it used to be like with one of the first On running shoes, the On Cloud Surfer. And that was when they had the old style pods where you really felt what it was like to run on clouds, as On would put it. So they have totally brought that feeling back with this shoe, and I absolutely love it. And I can quite honestly say I think this is my favourite road running shoe right now, and it happens to be an On road running shoe, so I'm really excited about that because, as you know, if you are familiar with trainandkale.com, then you'll know I've reviewed every On running shoe since the company started. So I have a very, very broad understanding of all the different On running models and how they all compare with one another. So definitely check out this post up here now. That's basically a bible of On running shoes, my thoughts. There's tons of On Cloud reviews, and I ranked them in order of how I prefer them and per sport as well, so whether it's for hiking, road running, trail running, or just for lifestyle. So definitely go check that post out, and that will help you choose the right On running shoes for you. Okay, so back to the On Cloudmonster then. This shoe has a 6mm drop from the heel to the toe. So that's kind of fairly average for On running. A lot of their shoes are 6mm. And what that means is it puts you in kind of a nice forward-leaning stance slightly. So that's really particularly good for road running because you want to be leaning forward so that you're kind of letting gravity do some of the work whilst you're actually trying to propel yourself forward. And having a drop of about 6mm will help you kind of stay in that position whilst you're running. So feels good, really like the drop on here. Okay, in terms of weights, it's 9.7 ounces, I believe. For the amount of cushioning and support you're seeing in the shoe, you would think it weighs a lot more than that. And actually feeling it, it really doesn't feel like it's heavy at all. And 9.7 ounces isn't heavy. So On has done an incredible job at making this a lightweight shoe. And I think a lot of that has to do with the upper material. It's very breathable. If I bring it a bit closer to camera here, hopefully you can see what kind of material that is. Very breathable, airy, and there's plenty of room in a toe box for your feet. I would say this was a medium width shoe, maybe slightly wider than medium. And if you're wondering what kind of fit this is, if it's consistent to other On running shoes or other brands, yes, go with your normal sizing. This is consistent with every other On running shoe I've worn, so go with the usual sizing if you are not sure. And it's consistent with brands like Nike, Adidas, and Salomon as well, so yep, go with the usual sizing. Okay, taking a look at the laces then. The laces are pretty standard, but I really like them. There is a tiny amount of kind of stretch in there, so when your feet do expand and contract with heat, or when you're trying harder, you're pushing harder on the road, it's a hot day, you will find your feet do expand. So you need a little bit of stretch in the shoe. So any way you can get that, whether that's in the laces or in the upper, then that's great. And this shoe does that very well. So what else can we talk about? Looking at the tongue, I guess. It's a very thin tongue, and that goes back to keeping this shoe very lightweight. They've I've got this tongue very thin, but it's got some padding on there so you don't feel any laces if you do them up tight on top. You won't feel any pressure points on the top of your feet because of the laces and the padding in the tongue. Within the shoe, it's kind of got the usual On sock-like construction, so the tongue is attached at the side of the shoe, if you can see there. So it just feels really snug, really comfortable when you put them on, and that's just very typical of On running shoes, to be honest. I think you'll find a lot of people who like On running shoes, they will always say it just feels great out of the box, you don't have to break them in, and that's exactly the same with the CloudMonster. Okay, looking on the bottom, then the outsole, the tread and the grip on here. Yep, you can see. So nothing too crazy in the tread pattern. That's kind of what you want for road running. You don't want any kind of friction or resistance when you're actually trying to run fast, sort of holding you back whilst you're putting your feet onto the ground on your landing. So that's really good. The gullies on the CloudMonster have been significantly reduced, so there really is no chance of getting any pebbles or rocks in there. And I found myself today on today's run running off to the side of the path just to see what they were like on mile trails, so kind of small rocks, gravelly type sections, and they really dug into that terrain. So whilst I was doing that, I was thinking, wow, what could this shoe be like on the trails? So I'm definitely going to test them out on forest trails, nothing too technical, but trails where there may be some gravel or hard packed dirt, stuff like that, and I'll try them out on there because I think these could be an interesting shoe for the trails for me, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, there is also a speed board in here, so you can just about see it on the bottom here. That focuses. This section in here, if you listen to this, that's the plastic speed board, and that runs between the sort of bottom of the upper and the top of the midsole, so it's under your foot, but under the insole, so, and below that. But what I'm trying to say is the speed board is what helps propel you forward, so it's the thing that gives the shoe flex but also helps it spring back. And as I'm talking about that's basically, so when you land you kind of press the shoe and then it springs back and helps you take off. And there's a number of things on that actually helps with that. So with the CloudMonster in particular, it has the really large CloudTec pods on here which compress. So the whole concept of pods is it compresses underfoot like so when you land, so that when you're about to take off you effectively have a barefoot takeoff, because it feels like there's no kind of compression when you're about to take off, and what that does is propels you forward. So when you combine that with a springy speed board within the shoe, as well as a rocker design, which this shoe has, all that means is if you were to put it on a flat surface then it would slightly rock because it curves up at the front and the back. Combine it with this rocker silhouette and what happens is you have a really smooth landing and takeoff, and On has just done a great job of putting all those features into this shoe, and it's definitely a shoe that I'm going to be wearing on long road runs. I just feel like when I was running in it I just felt like I could just keep going and going, and it's just got such great energy return that I wasn't feeling as tired as I might with another shoe. So anywhere from 5k, I'm going to say up to marathon with this shoe as well, because the cushioning is so good, very comfortable as well, so you're just going to want to keep running in these shoes. So as you can tell, I am very excited about the On Cloudmonster. This doesn't happen very often with a running shoe, but the CloudMonster, I'm going to have to say, is my favourite On running shoe for road running right now. It's amazing with On running because actually once a year there seems to be a new shoe that's released that kind of tops the charts for me, and this is the one for this year so far. So let's see if On brings out another shoe that can top the Cloudmonster. But right now, the Cloudmonster is the shoe for me. Let me know if you've got any questions in the comments down below. I'd happily answer them very quickly. I love talking about On running gear, so just drop a comment down below. And if you're watching this video from YouTube, definitely click this link up here. I've got a more in-depth review on trailandkale.com, the review website for outdoor gear. Definitely go check out that website. We review all kinds of outdoor gear from trail running, backpacking, hiking, camping, skiing, SUP, paddleboarding, all kinds of outdoor activities. We review gear on there. So definitely go check it out. And I can't wait to see you next time. Thanks for watching.